Hey TJ, just a bit of a response here to the idea you've been putting forth lately in regards to property rights and owner rights in regards to whether they can serve or not serve someone based upon their ethnic or racial background. I think it's important to point out here that, first off, this is going to affect not just African Americans or black people. This will affect Native Americans, Asians, Persians, Arabic peoples, just about any visible minority. I wanted you to consider a few scenarios here. Imagine the ethnic minority living in a small town. Now, there may be a bar in town. Okay, fine, the bar owner has the right to refuse them service under your idea. Okay, so they don't go to the bar. Well, what about the restaurant owner? Okay, fine, they don't go to the restaurant. Well, now we get down to, well, what about movie theater? Only one theater in town. Well, okay, well, I guess they can always rent. There's always Netflix. What about grocery store? Oh, wait a minute. That's where they buy food. Food that they need to eat. Well, I guess they could do mail order on some things. But that's a pretty big service that they're not being allowed to partake of, because the private business owner has the right to refuse them service. What about pharmacy? Say they are diabetic or need heart medication. Well, okay, well then they'll just have to drive to the next town. What about gas station? Well, now if they can't go to the gas station in town, well, they may be able to go to the next town or drive into the city to fill up on gas, burning all that much more gas. That's going to be a hefty financial burden on them, but it's not infringing on the gas station owner's personal rights. Now, what about the doctor? Well, for non-emergency services, they may have to go to another town. But what if it could turn into an emergency service, and they try and get in to see their doctor before going to the hospital, and the local doctor just won't see them, thus leaving them in a position where they've got a condition that could even, in some cases, prove fatal? Well, I guess they're kind of hooped there. And then, of course, it goes all the way up to a hospital. Well, they may not serve blacks. Okay, well, yeah, we'll get you good enough so that you stay alive, but we didn't go all the way, so that leg that was horribly injured, by the time you get to a hospital they'll serve black people, yeah, they're going to have to cut it off. Now, you see where I'm going with this? It doesn't take much. I mean, just basic services that are not provided by the government would then have to be stepped in, provided by the government, and regulated, because local business owners could not be trusted to do it on their own. Now, moving on to a topic that Tommy from the Bronx brought up. The bus driver often can be a private contractor. Now, that private contractor sees a black kid and a white kid and says, okay, white kid, you get on, black kid, you stay off. Now, a lot of people mentioned, well, why not just not hire the racist. On one hand, they may be protected by law because, well, they're a private business owner and they have that right to be discriminatory. And on the other hand, especially in rural areas where there may only be one bus driver, the state is going to have to come in and provide that service. In fact, quite a few of these items, if local businesses are refusing service, the state's going to have to step in and then compete with that local business. Of course, the local business can't always fight against the economic power of the state. That and local taxes will go up, which also kind of defeats some of the libertarian philosophies that you support. Now, picking and choosing when and where to regulate this type of behavior, it's kind of nitpicky and defeats the purpose. You might as well just have a across-the-board policy against discrimination. Something else that you had mentioned as well in regards to smoking, about the business owner who would want to serve a smoker. That's not quite the same thing of what you're talking about. Now, I personally can't see a problem if a business owner takes the time, and really this is in regards to restaurants and bars, so it doesn't even cover things like grocery stores or pharmacies or gas stations where it's just a bad idea to smoke around the pumps anyways. But in the case of, say, a restaurant or bar where the business owner takes the time to have a separate section with its own ventilation system for smokers. I know that where I live, before the ban on smoking was absolute, there were separate ventilated sections in some restaurants and bars. Completely separate, walled off. Now, the only people allowed in those areas, even in just restaurants, were not minors. Minors were not allowed in there. And I think that if a business owner is going to do that, they should be within their right. But it's not denying service to someone. So really, it's not the same thing. It's being inclusive. It's not discriminatory. Now it's legally mandated in many areas. I know where I live, it's now illegal to smoke in bars or restaurants at all. And for the last few years, we've gotten used to it. That's not really a discriminatory issue, though. I mean, if you really have a problem with it, quit smoking. I did. But it has nothing to do with what you're proposing here with racism being allowed by business owners. Now, I hope you really do consider what I have to say here, because just some of these points that I brought up is enough to shake the house of cards that your idea or premise rests on. I'm not calling you a racist, and I get that you're not really a racist at heart. But don't just gloss over what I've said. Now, I see that you've already had a response video from Amend Him. Keep in mind, my response is nowhere near like his. I haven't even sworn at you. Anyways, I hope you do consider this, and thank you for watching.